Let's go back to this Liberal farce and wipeout on Saturday. In almost all of those seats that I previously mentioned, the Liberal candidates are miles away from 50% of the primary vote. And I would assert in many of them, they are candidates not based on ability, but on a Hawke faction, or a Keane faction, or a Photios faction, or a Pine faction. Such candidates should be dumped, along with the factional bosses. As I said yesterday, the first root and branch reform of the Liberal Party must be of a gutless executive which won't stand up to the factions. Photios and co have to be gone. They're part of the Pine and Keane doctrine. They've had their say in WA, South Australia and in candidates for Canberra, and they've all been wiped out. And if a sitting Liberal, albeit state level, Matt Keane, can argue publicly that an endorsed Liberal, Catherine Deves, should be disendorsed, Keane should meet the full force of party sanctions for his criticism. If a party member dare speak out, they are suspended from the party. Why isn't Keane? I'll tell you why. Those in charge of the party are gutless. It's a party today that lacks discipline, values and a willingness to promote the best. The Liberal Party is not the property of the Prime Minister, the federal leader or some factional hack. The Liberal Party is owned by the membership, the people who stood on Saturday, sometimes in the wind and rain. But when it comes to candidates being chosen, they are treated like trash. Witness the way candidates were chosen in New South Wales at the 11th hour. Such a party, I'm sorry, deserves little support. Above all, as I've said, the party lacks guts, almost ashamed of what it should stand for. Abbott won 25 seats from Labor. He was knifed by the left and the rubbish began. Turnbull then lost 14 and now Morrison has lost 18. The way the party is going, there aren't many more to lose. If it was a football team, you'd change the board, the coach, the players and the strategy. It's to be hoped a tough man like Dutton will stand up to these losers and put them in their place for good. One of the platforms on which the Teals ran was integrity. If there was any left in the Liberal Party, the administration which presided over all of this for months and months and months should be booted out, state and federal. Make a fresh start. And any candidate for office should be asked to answer a simple question: what does the Liberal Party stand for? Define liberalism. And I'll tell you something, you'd be met with a deafening silence, because as things stand, the Liberal Party is nothing more than a passport to satisfy factional ambitions. If that doesn't end, and end now, then the next Liberal demolition will be in the next year's New South Wales state election. Well, look, there's plenty happening in America, including suggestions that Biden will face impeachment for the border crisis after the midterm elections under a Republican majority in both houses. The midterm elections loom, of course, in November. But there is a bigger crisis taking place in the courts of America. The trial of well-connected lawyer Michael Sussman centres on whether he lied to the FBI while sharing potentially damaging allegations about Donald Trump at a key moment in the 2016 presidential election. Let's bring in our American voice.